There's a quiet strength in people who feed homeless animals. Not the kind of strength that announces itself or demands recognition. The kind that shows up in parking lots before dawn, in back alleys after dark, in moments no one else witnesses. If you've ever been one of them, you already know what I'm talking about. Picture a man who leaves for work 20 minutes early every single day. Not because of traffic, not because he's overly punctual, because there's a parking lot 3 blocks from his office where a group of stray cats wait for him. He keeps a bag of kibble in his trunk. Rain or shine, summer heat or winter cold, he's there. His coworkers joke about his weird detour. They ask why he doesn't just sleep in those extra 20 minutes. He just shrugs it off, says something vague about liking the morning air. But the truth? Those few minutes in that parking lot, watching hungry animals eat, matter more to him than an extra coffee or scrolling through his phone. It's the only part of his morning routine that feels real. Then there's someone else. Someone who sets up a feeding station behind their apartment building where no one can see. They don't post about it. They don't tell people. They just refill the bowls every evening after work, sometimes sitting quietly nearby while the animals eat. Neighbors have no idea who's doing it. There are no social media posts, no recognition, no comments section full of heart emojis, just the sound of bowls scraping concrete and the knowledge that something hungry is now fed. And somehow, that's enough. More than enough. It's the most honest thing they do all day. If this is resonating with you, if you're realizing something about yourself, hit that subscribe button. Content like this gets buried under algorithms that prioritize noise over depth, so subscribe. Stay with me, because here's where most people get it completely twisted. They see someone feeding stray animals, and they think it's about the animals. They think it's charity work or volunteer spirit, or maybe just loneliness looking for companionship. But that's not it. Not entirely, anyway. People who feed homeless animals aren't doing it because they're lonely or because they need something to love. They're doing it because they recognize something. They see a creature that the world has decided doesn't matter, that society has labeled as inconvenient or invisible or disposable, and they can't walk past that, not without doing something. Because maybe, somewhere deep down, they know what it feels like to be overlooked, to be hungry for something basic, something simple, and have the world just keep moving past you like you don't exist. There's a concept in psychology called empathic concern, the ability to not just understand suffering, but to feel compelled to ease it. But here's what's often misunderstood about this. It's not just about feeling bad for someone or something. It's about recognizing shared vulnerability. When you feed a homeless animal, you're not standing above it in pity. You're standing beside it in recognition. You're saying, I see you. I know what it's like to need something and have no one notice. And here's where it gets interesting. These people, the ones who stop to feed strays, they're not the ones posting their good deeds online. They're not the ones documenting every act of kindness for validation. Because this isn't performance. This is something else entirely. This is about witnessing suffering and being unable to turn away from it, even when it's easier to, even when no one would blame you for it, even when the world tells you those animals don't matter. Let me tell you what it's like. You're walking to your car after a long day. You're tired. You're hungry yourself. You see a scraggly dog digging through garbage, ribs showing through matted fur, and something in you just breaks open. Not dramatically, not like in movies, just this quiet crack in your chest that says, I can't leave this like this. So you don't. You drive to the store, you buy food, you come back. And the world doesn't applaud. The world doesn't even notice. But here's the beautiful part that most people completely miss. That moment when a starving animal eats food you provided, that's not charity. That's not you being better than anyone else. That's restoration. You're restoring a basic dignity that should never have been stripped away in the first place. You're saying that hunger matters, that suffering matters, that a life doesn't need to be human or productive or convenient to deserve not to starve. Psychologists have found that people who consistently help animals, especially without recognition, often share certain traits. High empathy, obviously, but also a deep sense of personal responsibility. Not responsibility in the guilt-ridden, burden-carrying sense. Responsibility in the sense of, I have the ability to change this right now, so how could I not? They don't wait for someone else to care. They don't wait for a perfect system or a government program or a charity organization. They just act.
And listen, I know some people will say this is misplaced compassion, that they are humans suffering and resources should go there first. But here's the thing about people who feed homeless animals. They're usually the same people who hold doors open for strangers, who check on their elderly neighbors, who leave extra big tips for tired servers. Compassion isn't a finite resource that runs out if you give too much. It's a muscle, and these people have been training it their entire lives.
So, if you're someone who feeds homeless animals, if you're someone who stops your day to make sure something vulnerable doesn't go hungry, let me tell you what you really are. You're not a bleeding heart. You're not naive or impractical or wasting your time on creatures that don't matter. You're someone who understands that indifference is a choice, that walking past suffering because it's inconvenient, or because someone else will handle it, or because there are bigger problems in the world, is a choice. And you've chosen differently. You've chosen to be the person who doesn't look away, the person who doesn't rationalize inaction, the person who sees a problem they can solve right now and solves it, without waiting for permission or perfect circumstances or someone else to go first. You're the person who breaks the bystander effect, who refuses to assume someone else will care, who takes personal responsibility for suffering you didn't cause but have the power to ease. And that's not weakness. That's not being overly emotional. That's moral courage. That's integrity in action. That's being the kind of person who makes the world measurably better in small, consistent, unrecorded ways. And if more people had that quality, if more people stopped to care for what others overlook, we'd live in a fundamentally different world. You're not broken for caring about creatures the world has dismissed. You're not too sensitive for being affected by suffering that others ignore. That's not a flaw. That's wisdom most people spend their entire lives trying to learn. The wisdom that every life, no matter how small or inconvenient, has inherent value. The wisdom that your actions matter even when no one's watching, especially when no one's watching.
Because at the end of the day, feeding homeless animals isn't really about the animals at all. It's about who you choose to be when faced with suffering. It's about what you do with your capacity to help when help is needed. It's about the kind of world you're building with every small, unwitnessed act of care. And maybe that's the real strength here, not that you care, but that you care even when it costs you something, even when no one knows, even when the world tells you it doesn't matter.
Don't let anyone convince you that your compassion is wasted on animals. Don't let anyone tell you that feeding strays is pointless because there will always be more hungry mouths. Every single act of feeding is a moment where suffering was eased, where hunger was satisfied, where something vulnerable was protected. That's not pointless. That's everything. You're not saving the world by feeding one stray dog or one feral cat, but you're saving that dog's world. You're saving that cat's world. And in a society that increasingly measures worth by productivity and convenience, choosing to care for something that offers nothing in return, that's radical. That's resistance. That's proof that humanity still exists in small, quiet, powerful ways. So the next time you are filling those bowls in the rain, or stopping your car to leave food in an empty lot, or spending money you don't really have on kibble for animals no one else sees, remember this: you're not doing something small, you're doing something sacred. You're saying that life matters, that hunger matters, that the world doesn't get to decide which suffering counts and which doesn't. You do, and you've decided that every creature deserves not to starve. That's not weakness, that's strength, the quietest, most powerful kind there is.